Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I'm your host, Jake Combs, and tonight we are looking at the Tome of Champions 2021 for Warcry. I know it's technically 2022, so this is a little bit delayed. I'm sure the pandemic probably had some hand in its delay, as well as the later release of Red Harvest. But let's go ahead and open this thing up and take a look at what's inside. Now, I have yet to see or read anything on this book, so I'm not privy to any information. I haven't seen any previews about it prior to this unboxing. But as of today, it is available for pre-order, at least the day that you're watching this video. All right. So with the Tome of Champions, as always, we kind of go through a little bit of kind of background as far as what. Dang it! Sorry about that. Got to see how messy the rest of my table is. So as I was saying, starting off the book, we have some brief information as far as what's contained within, a little bit of information about the book in general as far as rules updates. Looks like we may have had some additional at least Chaos faction remarks added, just because of Red Harvest adding in 2 new Chaos factions. And then possibly some new ones for Order as well. That's if the new dragons are included or not. The Cruel Boys have been added because I know they weren't in the 2020 version as well. Updates to some of the campaign rules. Some points value changes as well. At least I'm assuming there's some changes, but it does list all of the changes for all of your character types in there. So for that alone, this book is definitely going to be worth it. Just so you have the updated points, full model list that you can actually use. Then we go into an open play section, which is just more kind of generic battles and goals. Like we had the Siege of Karngrad. So basically, depending on the size of the battle, it gives you point limits. The attackers versus the defenders. The defenders are definitely going to be outnumbered compared to the attackers. And I suspect, so victory is going to be based on the victory points, not necessarily much else. But to get those victory points, like the attackers gain for each fighter that breaches the defense, so it gets through the outer wall. 10 points if the gatehouse is destroyed. 1 for each fighter killed. 15 if the messenger escapes. So it looks like you're going to be declaring one of your models a messenger that needs to get out of there. And then goes into some of the details for how to do, like destroying the gatehouse, breaching the defense, things like that. And the campaign reward is if all of the warbands involved are embarked upon quests, the players on the winning team each make 3 additional search rolls on the lesser artifact table. This represents either the defenders earning some extra pay or the attackers looting as they break past the outer wall. And then we go into a narrative play section. I love that for each of these different sections, we get a nice full color spread of kind of a game in action. And I love that, like for the Carabidus coming out of the cave, the smoke that's coming up behind them. So obviously they're using some sort of fog machine. I'm actually planning on buying one here in the future, but I need to get some of the terrain put together that I want to actually have that work with. So with the narrative play, we have some branching quests. So basically, depending on who leads, kind of, or you have some different convergences that will take you on different paths. And then depending on which number you went through, you have different spoils of victory available to you. Let's see. So it looks like these are specific to the different let's see. I'm not sure if it's Grand Alliances or specific war bands, but it looks like Grand Alliances. Yeah. So like this one, the first one's for the Order. And then we have Chaos, Death, and then Destruction. Then we have some fated quests. So there's 4 specific fated quests in here. And so it actually tells you which page to refer to in the main rule book as far as how to use fated quests. It's been a while since I've looked at them, so I don't remember exactly when or how you use them. We have the Reaver's Spoils, Fate of the Kindred, Survivor's Salvation. So with that one, and that one's specifically for Order. So there's a different fated quest for each Grand Alliance. So the Order one is in an effort to stop Archaon from amassing quantity of cursed Varanite and using it to corrupt the ancient realm gates. A massive invasion force was dispatched by the command of the God King, and though its mission was fulfilled, the expedition force itself was defeated in a mighty battle before the gates of Varan Thax's Maw, and the survivors forced into a desperate retreat across the cursed wilds. So it sounds like for the fated quest, if you're playing Order, you're going to be trying to escape, where your attackers are going to be trying to kill you. We have the Waking Idol for Destruction. Looks like one of the idols of Gorks is going to be involved. And then Spoils of Victory, depending on which one it is. Now, some narrative campaigns, one of which takes us back to Ulfenkarn, which some of you may remember from Cursed City, called A Fool's Trove in Ulfenkarn, and we even have Radukar the Beast image right there with it. So perhaps, as we continue on here, we're going to see some rules that will allow you to use the Beast in one of your games. We have facing off against Arkan the Black, Kaiser Van Brecht, Scourge Runner Chariots, Thalos the Cruel, the Light of Eltharion. Like I said, Arkan the Black. It looks like this one, we have Be'lakor in picture right there. So I'm betting on this next page we're going to see some Warcry rules for Be'lakor. Okay, not necessarily the next page. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's actually directly in the game, but agents of his are going to be fighting against you. We have the Rat Hunters, the Vermintide. That one sounds pretty good. I'm definitely a big fan of the Vermintide video games. So, based on name alone, I'm going to want to play it. But I suspect that it's going to be kind of more of a war of attrition with just like almost non-stop rats coming in. And then, so here we have Fool's Trove and Ulfenkarn. And so, no, we don't have Radukar in here. But we do have the Skeleton Warriors, Dreadwalker Zombies, his Night Guard, the Corpse Rats, the Bat Swarm. So that's definitely very cool. We actually literally finished painting our purchased Cursed City set a couple weeks ago, so just in time to start using them here. And then we go into a matched play section using the Red Harvest terrain for the image. Very cool looking stuff, definitely liking the looks of that. And so we go into the pitch battles 2021-22 season. So these are going to be the pitch battles that will be used in events. And then we have the Fel Nyroth tournament, so different rounds, the outskirt graveyards, desecrated halls, domain of the Lich, some hidden agendas that you can use to kind of move things in your favor. And then we have our appendix. So it looks like we have updated cards for some of the different factions. Looks like most of these are the ones that are like from the Dominion starter, and then some of the new releases that have come out since the last tome, and given us the cards to play with the characters that had been featured in White Dwarf. Forgot what the name of the magazine was all of a sudden. So definitely really cool to have those. I like that it collects them all in one book, so that way you don't have to try to find all of the actual issues and use them. You can just use this one book. Very handy. I do wish we had Radukar as, you know, like kind of a boss fight, like how we had Gotrek. Have some special rules where he could basically be played by himself because he's so overpowered. And then we go into a section, Bladeboard Fighters. Okay, so this is more of the cards, Fire Slaters, Daughters of Cain. So this is a way of dividing some of the different factions up. Like we have some more Lumineth Realm Lords. Like I know... Oh, I know what these are. These aren't just these factions. These are actually the... Warhammer Underworlds war bands. So the one for Daughters of Cain, the Fire Slayers. So this is bringing them all into Warcry as well. The Spine Fin from Ideneth Deepkin, as well as the Duin Claw, Caradon Overlords, Seraphon, Lumineth Realm Lords, the Stormcast Eternal war bands, Sylvaneth, Skaith's Wild Hunt, which was from Beastgrave, Beast of Chaos, Horn Bloodbound, Garrick's Reavers, which was from the very first Underworlds, which I believe was Shadespire. Spike Claw, Slanesh Sybarites, which were also in don't think it was Beastgrave. It was, if it wasn't Beastgrave, it's the one that followed Beastgrave, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. And then we have our Slaves of Darkness ones, Godsworn Hunt, Kagra's Ravagers, Flesh Eater Courts. So the nice thing here is for players that did not get Bladeborn, by getting this, you still get those same rules, so you don't actually need to have the cards, but you'll still be able to use those characters. So this definitely is worth picking up. I believe I remember seeing this was listed for $35 for the previous editions. So I would expect it's going to be about the same for this one as well, $30 or $40, somewhere in there is my assumption, but I do not have direct information on the exact pricing yet. But once this does go up for pre-order, which at the time of posting this video it will have, you'll be able to see that pricing on the Games Workshop website. But definitely think for any Warcry player this is worth picking up, especially if you didn't pick up Bladeborn already. Now if you don't play Chaos but you play Underworlds, then this is definitely worth picking up just for that alone. So a lot of cool stuff in here. very excited to see what else we see from Warcry this year. I'm expecting to see probably some new warbands coming soon. We haven't heard anything yet, but I'm hoping to see some new announcements coming. But that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a good night. Thank you.